Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for hitting that play button for another episode of the Heady Coleman podcast. Today, I want to talk about marriage. Now, don't trip out. I'm just wanting to talk to you, kind of going back to go win. A win is something that you want to accomplish in life. That's what a win is. It allows for you to live out a greater story, I like to say. And so today I wanted to talk about a win in a sense of everyone who's married wants to have a healthy marriage. And so I wanted to talk to you about that being the win. But the more important thing I want to talk about is something that I wrote out on my Facebook page, facebook.com/Heady Coleman. I wrote out there talking about 10 right things you want to do in order to have a healthy marriage. Go win is defined as continuing or starting those things or being consistent in doing the right things that allow for you to achieve the wins you want for your life. So, what are those right things? Here recently in my Go Win Circle, I had everyone brainstorm 15 right things that they could be consistent in order to achieve the win that they have that push them to be a part of my Go Win Circle. So, we kind of worked together as a group to brainstorm those 15 right things. And now what happens is they go through those 15 right things and begin to put them in play and see which ones really work for them. And so in the same way, I want you to be thinking right now, what is a win that you have? And then what are some right things? You make your own list of 15 right things that you think will allow for you to achieve that win that you have for yourself. So what I did was I just jotted down brainstorming, thinking through things that my wife and I work hard to be consistent at, or things that we should start being consistent at. But here are 10 things that I feel like can really impact your desire to have a healthy marriage, which you would deem as a win that you want for your life. Because healthy marriages always make great stories. People want to be around people who have healthy marriages. I like to be around people who have healthy marriages. It's inspiring. It's just good. It's just healthy for my wife and I to be around these people. And healthy marriage, being in a healthy marriage also impacts the work that you do. So if you have a healthy marriage at home, your chances of being greater at work are greater. Yeah, you heard that. A greater marriage means greater work. Ha! Come on. I like that. I always say come on. So if this is your first time listening to the Heady Coleman podcast, I always say come on. Anyway, come on. Anyway, let's go. So 10 right things to be consistent in if you want a go-win marriage. You want to go win marriage, be consistent in these 10 right things. In no particular order here. The first one is date night. And that date night, so consistency for a date night may be every week. It may be every other week. If you're in a place, it may be every night y'all date or whatever. But once you find out what that schedule is going to be, you got to be consistent. And date nights are so important. I feel like date nights is where you continue to be friends. And so whenever all your children leave, when you look at each other, you're still friends. Get those date nights in, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I'll just say my wife and I, we have not been going on very many dates here lately. Not good, but we need to get back into the routine of things. Number 2, communication. Be consistent in having good communication, great communication. Example, one of the things that my wife and I do is we share a calendar. So that way is a way of communicating where we're at, what we're doing. And so it's helpful. So be consistent in communicating. Always communicate. What does that look like? How do you find a good rhythm and consistency in doing that? Number 3 I have down is dream together. Again, you can go to my Facebook page and see these. I have facebook.com/Heady Coleman. Dream together. Like, what is like dream big? Going to Italy together. My wife and I always talk about going to Greece together. And when you dream together, it speaks of the future, how you all are looking forward in this marriage together. Number 4, get around other couples with healthy marriages. Like, what does that look like to be consistent in doing that? Is that once a month, every other week? But find a good rhythm to do that. Be consistent in doing that. Getting around other people, other couples, other married folks that you admire. Get around them because it will only help your marriage. Number 5, know each other's expectations. Like, I think more importantly, be consistent in meeting those expectations. Like, what does that look like when your partner, your wife, your husband lets you know what their expectations are because you all are already consistent in communicating. We've already talked about that. Then once you know them, meet them when those expectations are realistic. Jump in there, meet those expectations. Again, these are some things, as I read these, I'm like, oh my goodness, I can do so much better at this. I can do better at meeting my wife's expectations. Compliment each other. Number 6, compliment each other. Be consistent in doing that. Like, let that be a something that's just a norm for you because you do it so consistently. It just naturally flows out of you. Where I'm always telling my wife how good she looks, how cute she is, how smart she is, how hard of a worker she is, how she spoils us. I'm just always trying to compliment her. I want to be consistent. That's an everyday consistency for me. Is I'm trying to do that. Laugh together. Oh my goodness, if we could every day, I'm like, we gotta laugh together. I'm gonna do something silly, something. We want to be consistent in laughing together. That's number 7. That is so important. I think, and my wife's so cute I love looking at my wife when she laughs, but it just feels so good. And we bring the kids in on those laughing, just really good. Number 8, speak each other's love languages. If you have not read Gary Chapman's 5 Love Languages, you should. You should go read that. It's a good book. Know your partner, your husband, wife. Know their expectations, okay? Know them, and then, not their expectations, know their love language. So, for example, my wife's love language is acts of service. Meaning whenever I do a service for her, that speaks love to her. So, again, let me just be honest. I'm not that good at it. Oh my goodness. I don't know why I'm doing this podcast around this particular thing because, oh my Lord, I'm just hitting myself. So, be consistent in speaking each other's love language. Number 9, forgive. Be consistent in forgiving. Like, you be like, okay, what does that mean? Like, yeah, be consistent in your forgiving. Don't forgive out of every 20 faults you forgive once. Forgive all 20. Forgiveness is such a great tool for marriage because when you live somebody and you're doing life in the way that you do in the marriage, there's going to be all sorts of reasons why you will need to forgive them, or there may be a mishap on your wife or husband's behalf. Forgive. Be quick. Be consistent in that. Number 10, give each other cake. Give each other cake. Now, here's what cake is. It doesn't mean that you're giving them a physical piece of cake. You're not literal in this. Giving cake means that you are giving he or she pats on the back. You're letting them know when they're doing something really good. You are highlighting that particular thing. So, for example, if I get out and cut the grass one early Saturday morning, and then later on that day, my wife says, hey, honey, I want to give you cake for cutting the grass today. Way to go. Good job. That's giving cake. We started doing that years ago in our family huddles. When we end every family huddle, we ask who wants to give someone cake, and we all participate in giving each other cake in some kind of way. And that's just to celebrate something that they or someone did. But let's celebrate each other as couples. Let's celebrate one another. Let's look for reasons to give each other cake because those things are important. So these are, again, 10 right things in order for you to have a go-in marriage. And what does it mean to win? A win is something that you want to accomplish in life. And I like to say, so that you can live out your greatest story. So a win is something that you want to accomplish in life. One of the things I want to accomplish is have a healthy marriage. And so therefore, these are things that I know that I need to be consistent in order to achieve a healthy marriage. Thank you again. Thank you again for hitting that play button, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And as always, wait, before I end, make sure you subscribe, leave a comment, do something, help me out. Those things impact my channel, my podcast. So wherever you're listening, Apple or watching on YouTube, subscribe, leave a comment. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, as always, go win.